going to? This way? Mm-hmm. Heading this way. Okay, well anyway. Go like this.
Yeah, sure. Head of the unit, which is very small right now, it's comprised of myself and Stephen and a officer. We call it TAD. It stands for Temporary Assigned Duty, and so Sergeant Officer John Sweeney is part of our unit too. And the three of us are charged by the chief to basically to educate our community on ways they can keep from being victimized by crime.
Yeah, I feel safety when I hear because I saw the police officers all over the campus.
It's pretty secure. Whenever I'm walking home from snow, I always see them around.
Yes, I feel safety because when I first in the campus, I have attended the orientation by the ISSI and they talk a lot of things about safety in the campus.
We most of them don't know how policing works in the United States. They come over from other countries where policing might be different. So what Sergeant Farrow does is during orientation he explains to them how different policing is in the United States, but not the United States alone, but how policing is different in Massachusetts as well, because we have all these different departments that work together to ensure everybody's safe. So he goes through that spiel, and then they find it really interesting and very different from where they come from. And so he prepares them in that way and talks to them about panhandlers and how to deal with the American culture, so to speak, so that they are not in so much culture shock in their in the first few days when they're here.
Very receptive group. They want to know as much as they can about how to protect themselves and their property because they're going to a strange foreign place, you know. Even more so, they seem to be taking their personal safety and their property safety more seriously than a person who comes from a local or somebody that comes from the States, because it's like, I got this. I mean, whatever. And but so that they seem to be very willing to register their property and things like that.
Sometimes, especially when I go home late at night and on the subway, there are few people. Sometimes there's some weird guy stared at me. That time I feel a little bit unsafe.
And also they have the program in which if I want to go from one residence hall to the other, I can call them and they can escort me. So I think that's pretty safe, especially because I live in Hemingway Street and I've heard some stories there in which people they were robbed or something there.
To minimize your risk, like the Red Eye shuttle, the Red Eye van that takes people off campus if they live within a 1.5 mile radius of campus. So we encourage them to utilize that service if they're studying late or something like that. Or ultimately, our approach is a proactive approach. We don't want to just sit and wait for people to call and say, I've been a victim of this crime or that crime. We feel that we want to be proactively getting messaging out there about how you can keep yourself safe, keep your property secure, and so that if heaven forbid that you are a victim of anything, you're going to say, well, I know who to turn to. Whether it's a university setting or a municipality or whatever, it's so that people can trust their police, and the police get to know their community and the community's needs and interests. That is key, and that's